Handy Hudsonite here. Do your AirPods sound bad? And what do I mean by bad? The volume isn't what it should be in one or both of the speakers in your AirPod. What do? I'm going to show you a fix that Apple doesn't even tell you that's worked for thousands of people. But before we get into that, what we need to talk about is the culprit. 95% of the time, there is one big problem with AirPods, whether it's first generation, second generation, an imitation brand. Even with AirPods Pro, to some extent, it's earwax. Earwax builds up on the AirPods, especially in the speakers, and it impedes the sound. But before I get into how exactly we're going to fix that, it's going to be imperative that we understand that this happens most of the time, 95% of the time. What about the other 5%? Well, it could be related to Bluetooth connectivity. Be sure to check out my video on how to take care of that problem. It could also be because of your balance setting on your phone, and check out my video on how to fix the balance on an iPhone with your AirPods if it's out of balance. So enough of that. Let's get into this fix on how to get your AirPods back to full audio and get over this problem with the earwax. Well, Apple will tell you how to clean your AirPods, and that's good. But there's one thing that's missing that I'll get into in just a minute. The way that you want to clean your AirPods is you want to use some sort of soft bristled device. I have a Q-tip. You can also use a soft bristle brush. There are other ways. Share in the comments below techniques that have worked for you for cleaning. And then you need a solvent. You need something to help get that earwax out of the grill, or the mesh, if you will, in your AirPods. I like to use rubbing alcohol. I have this in a smaller aloe bottle just for convenience, so I can always keep it near and handy for me to use. Before we get into the cleaning technique for the AirPods, we want to identify the main areas on the AirPod that tend to give us problems when they are clogged with earwax. So that front speaker in your AirPod, as you can see, has a mesh or a grill in front of the two speakers behind it. That is the most clogged area most of the time in your AirPods. You do have a side speaker, which is that more rectangular shaped area that has a small grill behind it. There is a back vent, and this can tend to get some earwax on it too, so you want to make sure that that's clear. And then there is a microphone on the bottom of your AirPod that has a mesh in front of it, and that can affect your communication and using Siri, phone calls especially. You want to make sure that's cleaned out too. So enough of that. So how do we clean the AirPods? I prefer the Q-tip because I've got a lot of them. They're easy to use. I've just found them to be more effective. And what I like to do is actually cut it in half. So I have this exposed part here, and the reason I cut it in half is so that I can begin the cleaning, and you can actually see earwax on the outside of my AirPod there to clean off. And I like to go around that front speaker, especially around the edges, to get off what I can. Now there's not a lot of earwax on mine right now, but I actually have been experiencing a little bit of lower audio on this left AirPod. And also let me know what AirPod tends to clog up more for you in the comments. Then this next part of the cleaning process involves using a solvent. I like to use rubbing alcohol. There also possibly hydrogen peroxide, but I would steer away from that. Apple recommends alcohol. So I will put just a little bit of alcohol on my Q-tip on the soft side, and then we will clean off the front speaker, and then go ahead and also clean the side speaker, clean the back air vent as well. And then while you're at it, go ahead and just kind of twist this inside of the mic on the bottom, the mic mesh area. I do have some earwax on there, just a little bit, and you may come away with more on yours. So do that on all of these areas on your AirPod. That's what Apple will tell you. That's the cleaning technique they recommend on their site, which is great. It will take care of your low or no audio problem in some cases. But the foolproof method involves this technique, which I've shown to people, and thousands of people have benefited from it. And you can check out my original video on that. But this technique is to use the force of air, either blowing into the speaker or inhaling or sucking on the speaker, to dislodge the remaining earwax that can get trapped in there. Now, my preferred method is to blow through the speaker areas, especially the front speaker. So you just put your mouth on it, and don't be afraid to blow hard. In some cases, you need to blow really hard to dislodge that. You can also blow on this back air vent to get it moving the other direction. You can also, on the bottom of the AirPod, you can blow through that microphone mesh to get earwax dislodged from there. Now, if you don't want to put your mouth on this, I know it's gross, but keep in mind it's your own earwax from your own body. Though I haven't used this technique, you could use an air can of some sort to dislodge the earwax. And see, let me know in the comments below how that works for you. Now, I mentioned earlier you can also suck on this, and some people have had better luck with this technique than with blowing. So you put your mouth on this front speaker especially and just inhale, and you can just suck in a little bit. And then once you're done with this, go ahead, put them in your ears and see if you get that full audio back. And if you do, then that's great. Be sure to give this video a like and share it out, let other people know about it. If not, no worries, just do this technique again. Sometimes you have to do it 2, 3, even 4 times for you to get that full audio back. And you may also have to wait a couple of minutes, sometimes up to 5 minutes, for that rubbing alcohol to completely evaporate so that you get your audio back. If this still doesn't take care of your problem, just let me know in the comments below, and I can share with you my experiences, because I've had some stubborn clogged AirPods. And one last thing, which I've actually had some viewers recommend to me, is to make sure to get your ears cleaned on a regular basis. If you tend to have a lot of earwax, get those professionally cleaned. Don't try to clean them yourselves. Get them professionally cleaned so that you can just cut down on the amount of earwax that's going in your AirPods. Another thing that you can do is you can purchase AirPod covers, which I actually like these because they help the AirPods stay in your ears better, and they keep most of the earwax out. I don't have to clean them nearly as often as when I don't use the AirPod covers. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Again, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, the Handy Hudsonite, for more tips like this one. And share out this video. A lot of people are struggling with their AirPods and they think they're broken, so they throw them away or try to sell them, when in fact it just would take a few minutes with this technique to get them working again. I'll be sure to see you in the next video.